You're watching the Chaos Protocol on Transplanar RPG, an all-transgender, people-of-color-led dark fantasy TTRPG show set in an original non-colonial, anti-Orientalist multiverse. If you like what you see, please consider pledging to our Patreon to support the show and get access to a patron-only after-show, early podcast episodes, GM notes, character sheets, and even the chance for your tabletop OC to cameo in our series. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy. The Chaos Protocol is a dark fantasy series that may contain content that is triggering for some viewers. Content warnings for this episode include fantasy violence, guns as weaponry, shootouts, murder, death of loved ones, blood, body horror, medical gore, youth in dangerous situations, climate disaster, environmental collapse, storms, and complex relationships. Arc 4, Episode 19, Within a Wire. From Waiting for the Moon to Burn by Connie Chang. The bad feeling in Amari Stovall's stomach began with the briefing. Mac was being his usual self, all smiles and confident and false bravado that everyone knew was an act, but it made him feel better, so they let him. It took Stovall a few years to realize that Mac wasn't actually an asshole, just protective and sensitive with a lot to prove. Funny how the symptoms overlapped. Most of the time, Mac's swaggering, rolled off Samishi like water off a bantam's back. But this time, things felt different. Samishi wasn't worried, per se, but there was something intense about the way she looked at them both. She told them to watch out for each other, to be careful. Every week, fewer people came back with even fewer resources in tow. A bad moon was rising. Stovall could see it in the crease of Samishi's brow, in the way she locked herself in her lab for days on end without surfacing. The garden could take care of itself, mostly by now, but they still needed her. And Samishi needed them. Mac laughed. Said that if they got banged up, she'd patch him up hell for leather like she always did. She could fix anything. But Samishi corrected him. She could fix almost anything. That was when the bad feeling began. It coiled in the pit of Stovall's stomach, listless and glassy like a serpent blown from dust. Stovall did not voice it, even as the four strangers approached, desperate and seeking, their bodies battered with the telltale wounds of survival. There was something off about them. They weren't dangerous, but something about them didn't make sense. And then Mac's temple exploded, and the whole world went to hell. In the shootout, Stovall operated on instinct. She dove toward her crew, toward the injured, shouted orders that she can barely remember now, orders to get the others to reach the ship to retreat. The bad feeling was not just a feeling anymore, it was real, and it was all around her. And it was her fault. She should have said something, done something, but what? Insisted that they didn't go on a supply run even as resources dwindled? Acted on information that they did not yet have? The grief was not here yet. There was only fear and anger. And the bitterness of having done this already so many thousands of times. Spinning around in the dust, Stovall saw her. The person with the shaved head, the tattoos, the guns. They hadn't been with the strangers, which meant it was a trap. Maybe, probably, but Mac was dead and someone had pulled the trigger and someone needed to pay for it. Stovall raised their rifle. Charging out of the dust, the man. A sharp pain ripped across Stovall's hand. Their rifle scattered. They recognized him, and the look on his face said, "I am not here to hurt you." didn't make any sense. But then Stovall saw someone else in the dust over his shoulder, the silhouette of a stranger with a long, fluttering jacket cutting through the chaos like a shark scenting blood, heading for the ship. The ship. Shit. And so, Amari Stovall goes sprinting through the dust, even as bullets rip around her and people shout and the storm screams. She does not waver and she does not slow down. Amari trusts that the orders they gave will carry to the rest of their crew. They trust that Kajag did not leave the cockpit, that their pilot followed protocol and is waiting even now for the rest of them to board before getting the fuck out of here. They trust that at any moment they will hear the roaring of engines and the whipping of propellers, but not before they themselves scramble aboard, safe and accounted for with the rest of their crew. And then they see it. The ship. Hatch, wide open, gangplanked against the cracked earth, revealing the cargo bay inside, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people strapped into jump seats already. Relief floods Amari. But then, she sees a 6th person limping toward the hatch, dragging a 7th across the dust-soaked dirt. Amari recognizes the person being dragged, his beard, his crimson temple, and looks up into the silver eyes of the person dragging him. And Yinghe shouts, "Please, help me get him onto the ship!" Seir. Bug is on your shoulders. Bullets pelt the earth around you. There is shouting and the roaring of the storm, and the dust is everywhere. And on your back, Bug shouts at the top of their lungs, "We gotta reach the ship!"
There is a moment before Bug yells this as they were traversing this crossfire of dust, where Seir heard the sound of a shotgun resounding in the space of combat, and the first thing he does is duck onto his knees and covers Bug's head.
Go!
And the second the coast is clear, he gets up, hears Bug's call for the ship. Good call, kid. Good call. Where is it? Be my eyes.
I don't know. Forward! That way!
Seir feels a twinge in the back of his scalp, feeling this teenager not only yank against the wires and the cybernetic antlers that are placed on his head, before grunting, "Kid, we don't just go bowling around in the dust. You listen, you look," and Seir demonstrates. He lowers himself and watches where the boots of the people who we were attempting to negotiate with would be moving towards. Where's the light from the ship within this nexus of a dust storm?
Okay, that's going to be a wit check, Seir, to see how quickly you can pick up on the correct direction to lead you to the ship.
Sure.
Your wit is
so
a 10.
good at it.
You do not have situational advantage. You are getting assistance from another character. Bug's assistance.
Oh, yay.
As you say to Bug to take in its surroundings, take a beat to analyze everything that's going on, not just charge forward ignorantly, they take your advice in stride. You feel the tugging on your antlers subsist as they kind of crouch between your horns, their face framed between the cybernetic lights, and their eyes light up. They scan the dust, and you hear a sniffing noise as the kid on your back starts smelling very intently, sniffing in the dust in every direction like a hound dog, a bloodhound on top of you. "Oh, wait, no, you're right, that way, over there, I'm pretty sure it was there. So you get assistance from another character. Are you harnessing a relevant tool or power?
Absolutely not. These tools are not going to help me find a ship in the dust storm. Would be
That's
nice
true.
if I had one. All right,
That is going to be
2d20.
2d20. 10 or lower, that's what we're looking for.
I did get 110, but I got one natural 20, and that was deeply unfortunate.
Okay, thank goodness Bug was here. A 10.
Thank you, Bug.
You beat it, but barely. That means you are able to find the ship, but not any faster than usual or any slower than usual. So with Bug on top of you, kind of like leaning down, directing where to go. To the left over here. Oh, wait, no, to the right, definitely to the right.
Okay.
Oh, wait, over there.
Okay,
I think I see something big in the dust. Okay. You know, Nose Mama doesn't complain when I pull on her horn.
Well, Nose Mama? Who's Nose Mama?
Duck!
And Seir, like, ducks and, like, holds onto this child and ducks with them.
As you see someone just kind of come out of the dust swinging something at you, and they miss the top of your body, so they go, like, spiraling offward with the momentum of their swing back into the dust behind you.
Not trying to hurt anyone. I'm not your enemy. And Seir's going to dart towards the ship, and as he's watching this child, this teenager, navigate through the dust storm with their sense of smell being the beacon that helps them find this ship, Seir can't help but be impressed. His eyebrow raises as he looks up from his peripheral vision at this teenager and says, "Got some potential, kid. What's your name?"
Bug! What's your name?
Seir. All right, stick with me. And then he's going to like duck and weave and move towards the ship.
As you do, Bug lets out a kind of a whoop on your back as you duck and weave through the chaos, through the bullets, through the bedlam. And Bug goes, "I think we're getting close. I can smell it. Engine grease, metal, something artificial and big. Oh, there it is!" And sure enough, you see kind of rising up out of the dust to greet you the massive silhouette of the cargo transport ship. It's there, and you can start to hear in the air around you a humming. It sounds like the engines are coming on. The propellers of its wings aren't quite moving yet, but it is beginning to like thrum, even though it's not lifting up off of the ground. And you see that the cargo hatches open, flapped downward, forming a kind of gangplank against the top of the isthmus. And you can see right through the center of the body to see a cargo bay. You see several people strapped into jump seats, and most importantly, you see Yinghe. She is halfway on the ship, halfway off of it, and is dragging an unmoving body onto the ship, and she's being helped on the other end by Stovall. You recognize her.
That no one else? What's the rest of Nova? And I think that's when Seir like turns around, like notices the rest of Stovall's crew like either slowly piling into the ship and like providing space for Yinghe to be able to have that time to bring this wounded person onto the ship. And Seir's looking to the dust storm to see where's Lumièra, where's Xainan.
You see no sign of Lumièra or Xainan, but as soon as you kind of run into visual recognition of Yinghe, as though sensing you, they lift their eyes, and those silver irises go wide, and they shout, "Seir! Thank goodness you're here!" And Bug shouts, "We did it! That ship is ours!"
What? No, what are you talking about?
What? What is that kid talking about? And this is Stovall, who kind of lifts her head from where she's lifting up Mac's unmoving torso and cuts like a glare in your direction and then recognizes you. "It's you. Where's the rest of your crew? Come on, we're about to take off."
That's my Yinghe.
"Where's Lumièra? Where's Xainan? I thought you were with them."
No, we got separated in the fight.
"What?
Shit.
Stovall, I'm sorry. Can we just wait for a few moments longer? The rest of our group has to be right behind Seir." "I don't know. I'm only missing a few more people, but that's it, okay? We don't have any more time."
We'll buy time. And Seir will kind of like share a meaningful look with Yinghe to communicate that he's going to go further into the dust storm to find the rest of Nova, if he can.
As you start to try to move away from the ship, there's a sharp yank on your horns as Bug goes, "Wait, no, what are you doing, Seir? That's our ship, we gotta take it!"
What are you talking about? What do you mean, take the ship?
"That's why we're here!" "Seir, what's that kid talking about?" Bang! There's a shotgun blast, and it's close. Lumièra.
Bug, get down!
Hunched behind rocks, your face splattered with blood that is not your own, you sink yourself into the familiar work of patching up someone's wound. What is the finishing touch that you put on Jack's injury?
Lumièra is making light work of stitching up this wound. It's gritty, it's grimy, it's nasty, but it's combat. This is her lane. This she can handle. So as she finishes up the last of the stitch, you see her like bite to tear the end of it and tie it really tightly, pulling out something that, like, not exactly a lighter, but it kind of like heats it to kind of burn the ends of the sutures to make sure that they stay and they're melted. Okay. This is just gonna have to hold for the time being. I'm sorry, I couldn't do better.
No, that was good. I'm good. Shit, that hurts. But not as much as Libro's left hook or Dr. Wu's moonshine.
I'm gonna take your word for that. And Lumièra kind of is finishing up, like checking over, trying to wipe the wound clean.
As both you and Jack take a moment to like look down at your wound, you sense something from behind you, kind of like the hairs on the nape of her neck stand up, and you see Jack's face as she's facing you look up with an expression of shock, surprise, her eyes widen, and just as she's reaching for the crossbow that she'd like left by her hip to let you tend to her, you feel a shadow fall over you as a person emerges from the dust. You recognize this person as one of many people who are helping to mine the rocks and collect water from the stones nearby. She just kind of lurches into view, and there's a moment as she looks just as surprised to see you and Jack as you and Jack look to see her. But then this person recognizes you. You see her face, like realization, and then pain and anger, and she shouts, You tricked us! And she reaches for a blaster at her hip, starts to point it at you. Her finger twitches around the trigger, and then, fast as lightning, a crossbow bolt lodges into this person's arm, and she, in pain, and drops the gun. Jack spits onto the ground. Go! Get out of here before I get your head next! Fuck! And this person runs away.
What the fuck?
You okay? I'm fine.
I should be asking you that. What is happening? Okay. And it takes her a solid second. For her, it feels like a few seconds, but in real time, it's really as fast as anyone can blink, where she sits in and whips her head around in every direction, her eyes quickly glazing over everything that is happening, what's going on around her. We need to get out of here. Shit.
I agree. This place isn't safe.
Okay, we have to find the rest of my team. I know.
Right, you were with
Seir's
people, weren't you?
Yeah.
Seir. I guess. And then both of you hear bang! A second shotgun blast, similar to the one that had drawn that other person away from your hiding spot initially, but this time it sounds much closer, louder. And Jack's eyes go wide again. Damn. Ozzo's having a bad day.
Lumièra's eyes widen. I think they take up most of her face in shock and recognition. Us. And she knows immediately. The last time Xainan ran into one of his partners, he was punched. If this is Azal, this is probably them. And Lumièra scrambles up. I don't even think she realizes it. And she's like, pop. and runs.
What?
in.
Hey! Damn. And Jack grabs her crossbow and kind of limps after you into the dust. As the two of you vanish into the oncoming storm and the chaos of it all, we pan across whipping, screaming gales of wind to find Xainan. You are still alive, even when you really shouldn't be. Even when you couldn't be. As the final wicked tendon of your shorn chest ribbons itself back into place, and you survive the unsurvivable. What is the first thing that you say to the stranger kneeling over you, a mournful death song stilled between her lips?
Howdy. And as he coughs, a small bit of, yes, blood, which should be there, but also gold, comes out of his mouth and dribbles down the side of his face, covered in dust, covered in tears, cracked in molten metal. And Zinnia, looking up at you with two different colored eyes, you see Xainan's eyes slowly come into focus, the slits refining into fine, sharp lines as he looks up at basically the bright sky above. Wow.
What are you?
Isn't that a question? And he starts reaching around in the dirt around him until his hand lands on a hat. Ugh. Ugh. And he starts to sit up and definitely wobbles in the process. That was a nice song. Thank you for that.
It's referred to those who have died.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think Zinnia offers a tentative hand up because I don't want to continue having this conversation with the corpse in front of me while he's laying down.
And he reaches out and he takes it. And he holds on pretty firmly. Not like a corpse. In fact, not even like someone who just took a blast to the torso that they happened to survive. He's a little shaky, but he could probably get up on his own in a moment.
I need to ask before you go any further. Why did Azal shoot you?
Oh. And he goes a little still for a moment as it all kind of comes running back. I didn't move. They said to move.
You're lucky enough to make that mistake a second time.
Yeah. And then he starts looking for someone around, looking for the source of that shotgun blast, as he absently starts to also dust his hat off from all the dust that is on it.
Zinnia, you have seen many people die. Countless, really, at this point. This is the first and only person you've ever seen not. He should have. He could have. He couldn't have survived that. That blast. At that range, you saw it happen. You saw his chest blow wide. You saw it knit back together. Impossibly. The death song you had shared, no one living has ever received it. Anyone that's ever heard it has taken it with them to the end, to the place beyond death. What sour, bitter feeling rises in you at the same time as this corpse of a man rises on feet and hands that do not need your steadying?
I think bewilderment was the initial feeling, sort of the disarming howdy that like immediately caused them to not know what to make of this. And as it settles, as it sits, as she feels that this hand is still living and not some weird just corpse that was thrown through the dust or something, it starts to sour. This is somebody who is still alive and shouldn't be. And with the amount of people that Zinnia has personally either seen die or actively killed, there is no reason why this man in front of her is breathing.
That's exactly right. These feelings burble and rise within you, and there's another thing rising in you as well, something you haven't felt in over a decade, as this man dusts his hat off, scans the area looking around. Xainan, as Zinnia had helped you to your feet, this person witnessing your impossible reconstruction, her eyes seeing that which no one else but yourself and a profane saint of mortals had seen, the knitting together of something that should have stayed destroyed. What emotions rise through you toward Zinnia? Especially as that final melody of the grief song still between her lips echoes in your ears.
Xainan only recently learned what it was like to grieve with others, really. It has taken a lifetime of learning to understand more than just a quiet, somber burial. And so to hear someone mourn, to grieve, even if it is a song put in with procedure and practice, Zinnia still sang it. And it echoes around inside of Xainan, this braid of immortality, of oblivion, of divine magic that is now veining up his chest. And this flawed mortality inside of him, it rings through all of these things. And it makes him almost feel like he's really home for a minute. He can't quite place why, but Zinnia's song is like being sang a lullaby that he's craved for an unknown amount of time. And even though he has complicated feelings starting to rise inside of him, maybe from the shotgun blast itself in the middle of his chest, about Azalïs, about this situation, there is peace granted, even if he is not a restful ghost yet.
Zinnia, the other thing rising inside you, you realize what it is now. Just an echo. A ghost of a life you had left behind, of a feeling that had surrounded you so immensely you didn't realize that it had been there until you were gone from it. Something like fate. Something like destiny. There's a sick feeling of it rising in you looking at this man. Something about him just feels familiar. And the way Azal had looked at him, not with any care, but with recognition. And the way they had examined his corpse to make sure it would stay down before they left. You and Azal had never opened yourselves to each other in any traditional way, but there are things you know about each other that the rest of the tiers do not. Unspoken similarities, unspoken griefs, traumas, and wounds that you share. And this man looks like a wound. Do you pursue this line of thought, or do you let him be in this moment?
I need to know more. I think she looks at him and asks, "What's your name?"
I'm Xainan Esch. You are?
Azalïs knows you.
They sure do. And Xainan narrows his eyes. He knows when someone isn't answering a question, but they were just very nice to him. And there's a gunfight going on, so he knows to not push in this moment.
Zinnia, how does Xainan's name sink into your flesh? You know this name. Azo has only said it to you once, but it has stuck with you.
There is so much rattling around, as in, who is this, and why would Azal kill him? In the conversation this was had many, many years ago, it was comparing. Not much was said besides names, but those were names of people we mourned, people we lost, people who were gone from us. Why is he here? And why did they kill him? It just won't stop rattling. And what isn't Azal telling me either?
Yes, because you had shared names with them as well. Names that you had buried with no bodies but only weapons under a radio tower that you had left behind in the past. If any of those names had presented themselves to you in this moment, taken a blast from you and survived, that... There are many questions, many conversations you must have with Azalïs Rade. Xainan, you scan the dust for signs of Azal, of the person who shot you and left. You don't see them anywhere. They had just left. Left your corpse, left your body behind. And with that blast, they'd not only shattered your flesh, they had shattered the preconceptions you held of what they were doing here, why they might be here, how they might respond to you. How do you hold these broken pieces in your hands?
He still wears his own blood now matted even further into his clothes. But this is not the first time that they've shed blood about each other. That's not the problem. Xainan Esch planted a seed in the fertile ground between them when he was very young, when he fell in love with them. That seed grew, and it had a name: home. And he has spent every moment since being separated from them searching for that, what he thought was at least a tree at this point. Longing for that feeling that was theirs, that had big, beautiful branches. Longing and longing and longing for it. Turns out, longing isn't something you really do. It's just an erosion inside that with time just starts to devour your heart. Makes you forget that things change. And that is like a spike being driven deep inside of a very loved tree. A very firm-rooted tree. And it hurts. It hurts. But he's still looking for them because he can't stop.
It is not Azalïs Rade that comes out of the dust next and finds you, but someone else that you love. Lumièra, you are running through the dust. You are following the noise of the shotgun blast. What is the one singular emotion that pumps through your veins as you think of Xainan and the state you might find him in?
I don't think it's really... It's an emotion, right? It's fear. It's terror. She keeps thinking consistently over and over and over again that time and time again, she has always been too late. Which is odd because for someone with her abilities, time should always be on her side. But Sing and Seir and Yinghe, she can't keep herself from thinking that this could be another time where she is too late. And she's terrified of what she might run into. So when she sees Xainan standing there, she breaks. And she runs full speed, barreling into you, Xainan, so fast it knocks the hat off her head. She doesn't even care. Her face is buried into your chest, just barely keeping back a sob. You're okay.
Hey. And Xainan puts a hand very gently on her. He can't quite tell her yet that his blood is getting on her. He's happy to just hold her close. His daughter. And there is relief, but there is also this deep grounding. To hold her, to feel this connection. And also to apologize just a little because she's going to be very upset when she notices the gold gleaming on his neck, the blood matting his clothes, and he just pats her side. I'm okay.
I thought it was too late.
I'm right here.
Okay.
I ain't going nowhere.
Don't scare me like that.
Yeah.
And she checks you over as if she's trying to make sure that you are physically still there in front of her.
And you see the evidence. The thing that the profanity inside of him knit back together. You were too late, Lumièra, and I'm so sorry. It cracks up his neck now. A scar that you can see is made of the same molten creation on his face, but cooled into bright gold. It is still setting in some places. And around it you can see blood splatter, matting dust. And he's just watching you take it in because you know that his heartbeat is too far away. That he's still here.
Limping out of the dust, clutching at her gut, Jack sees Lumièra, relief slumps through her, hesitation upon seeing Xainan, and then a bright realization upon seeing Zinnia. There you are, Zin. Where's Azal?
I don't know yet.
Damn it. They must be bang! And then bang, bang, bang! Over and over and over. Shit. Come on! And without hesitating, Jack limps in the direction of the shotgun blasts, knowing exactly what they mean.
I think Zinnia takes one last look at Xainan, Lumièra. They'll get back to that later. And almost rushes past Jack. And in so quick that it is barely a whisper, says, "You need to sit down."
I'll be fine. Xainan and Lumièra, do you follow?
Xainan goes running towards the gunshots that just killed him.
Lumièra follows.
How could you not? Seir. That loud shotgun blast had been very close to the ship. But even scanning the dust, there had been no evidence of who had fired it. Still, not a good sign. And halfway in the ship, halfway out of the ship, Stovall pins you and Yinghe with a steady, intense look. Damn it. Listen, you two, it's now or never. Are you coming or not? We don't have time to wait for your friends.
As Seir heard that first shotgun blast and ducking and covering Bug's head against the nape of his neck, he yells out to everyone in the vicinity, anyone in the vicinity, "Get down!" And hearing the echoing of that death ringing, the threat of death ringing in this dust storm, Seir slowly gets up and meets Stovall's eyes there, warning. He can't leave. Yinghe can't leave, and I think Seir looks over to Yinghe. Bug still against his shoulder. I'll go without them.
You've got a death wish or something? Storm's coming in. I highly recommend that even if you can't save your friends, the two of you should... Bang! Another blast, this one much closer. So close that the buckshot sprays off of the hull a few yards away. And from the direction of the blast, you see a silhouette cutting through the dust. A long jacket billowing in the oncoming storm. The snout of a shotgun lifted in their hands, and it is pointed directly at Stovall.
Shit. Look, I know you have to do what you have to do. Go, take care of your people. I can't leave without mine.
Fine. Kajad, let's go! And Stovall bangs her fist against the outside of the hull, drags the rest of Mac's body into the cargo hold. At the same time, the flap of the door starts to rise, and Yinghe scrambles off of it, jumping onto the ground, looking up, holding their hat to prevent it from flying off. At the same time, the engine starts to rev, the propellers start to spin, and the ship starts to lift up off of the ground. The doors are still closing. You can still see Stovall standing there looking down at the three of you with worry in her face, regret on her expression for what she believes is dooming the three of you to a horrible death in a dust storm. As this is happening, Bug is shouting, Azal over here! At the person in the dust, the person with the shotgun. Before you can respond to this, before you and Yinghe can react more than just taking in this noise, Azo swings the snout of the shotgun up toward the closing doors and sprays another buckshot. Bang! It pings off against the closing hull of the cargo ship right before it seals up. You're not sure if they got Stovall or not. And then another bang and another bang! The ship continues to rise into the air, higher and higher, 10, 15, 20 feet. And now striding into full view, shotgun raised, Azalïs Rade, who spares not a single glance at you, Seir, or Yinghe, or even Bug. As they aim the barrel at the now fleeing ship, brace the stock against their dust-scarred shoulder, and fire! Round after round of buckshot exploding against the tail of the ship, taking pieces of the hull down with it. But the ship is too big, and it's gaining too much momentum. And it's rising and rising. Azo pumps the slide, spent shells flying out of the chamber, fires again and again and again and again until the trigger clicks against an empty chamber. And even as the ship lifts 100 feet into the air, veering toward the northern horizon, Azal methodically loads new shells. With the cold violence of a living revenant, snaps the barrel back into place, aims, fires into the empty air, again and again and again at the vanishing ship, at the mission that they failed, at the looming black hole in the darkening sky, the size of a broken heart. And we're gonna go to break there. Thank you all so much for tuning in so far. Take a quick tenner to take a bio break, get some water, stretch your limbs, get some snacks, and of course, enjoy this message from Spawny, sponsor Connie. We'll see you in 10. Hello, Transplay Nerds. You know what time it is. Sponsor Connie time. For Arc 4, we're collaborating with the Working Families Party, who are building a multiracial coalition of working class people to make our communities a better place to live for everyone. You might be thinking, why does a political party care about a queer tabletop show? As it turns out, the Working Families Party believes in the power of fandom to effect positive political change in the real world. So do we. As a Transplay Nerd, you're no stranger to just how political our show can be and how our stories are never just fiction. In fact, let's take an action together right now by signing a petition by the Working Families Party to break up big media companies. This cause means a lot to us personally, as indie actual play performers fighting censorship, telling authentic stories, and resisting authoritarianism. Go to bit.ly/WFPtrans and add your name to the list. By signing this petition, you will join the Working Families Party's mailing list and receive opportunities to help them organize, educate, and fundraise. So let's build a better future together. Howdy, Transplay Nerds. It is, once again, Sponsor Connie time. Arc 4 is proudly sponsored by Hero Forge, a website where you can design and print your very own custom miniatures. But you already knew that, didn't you? Because the spectacular Hero Forge has sponsored us every single arc so far. We've stuck together through all sorts of exciting updates, like Hero Forge Pro, statuettes, color-printed plastic, premium plastic, but now, it's time. It's time for one of the most exciting Hero Forge updates ever. Custom dice. Hero Forge is now offering 3D printed custom dice, where you can put literally anything into the clear material of the die. Each die is printed in the same layers as the item or character bust inside of it, resulting in a solid, perfectly weighted chunk of math rock. You decide the size, color, and shape of your die, the size and color of the numbers on top, and, of course, what the die contains.
Put a frog in it.
Don't die-lay. Visit bit.ly/transforge to design your very own custom miniature or custom dice today.